Hello everyone and welcome back to Affinity for Commander. My name is Alex and today we're taking a look at the founder of the Witherbloom School in Strixhaven, Beledros. But just before that, we would like to take this opportunity to thank our beloved patrons, without whom this channel's continuation would not be possible. Also, if you like any of the cards you see here that I talk about today, then be sure to head over to Flipside Gaming for a cool 10% off at checkout by entering promo code Affinity before you buy. Or if Magic Madhouse, Card Market or TCG Player are more your thing, then be sure to use our affiliate links in the description box below. Won't cost you anything extra and really helps the channel out a lot. And we would also like to take this opportunity to thank our latest sponsor for the channel, altersleeves.com. Now, Martin and I have always been a little bit pernickety about getting our cards altered due to the extensive price tag that usually comes along with it and the concern about damaging our favourite commanders. Don't worry, girl. Nothing will ever happen to you. But with Alter Sleeves, they completely get rid of these concerns. They are an affordable alternative and the quality is nothing to scoff at, as each piece of artwork is printed on a perfect fit sleeve, which goes right over your favourite commander. We've been lucky enough to try out some of Alter Sleeves, and quite frankly, we've been blown away by the majesty of this work. I mean, just look at this art. Glorious! If you yourself would like to get access to these lovely upgrades for your EDH decks, then be sure to use our affiliate link down below to access their website. Again, no charge to yourself, and helps the channel out a lot. But for now, on to the big dragon. Beledros is a 4/4 legendary elder dragon with flying for 5 generic, 1 black and 1 green. They read, at the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. And pay 10 life, untap all lands you control, activate only once each turn. Now, when I first saw Beledros, it reminded me immediately of cards like Tendershoot Dryad or Verdant Force, cards that generate a board state in everyone's upkeep. So, with Beledros out, by the time it gets back to your turn, you've made 3 new friends, and then a further 1 in your own upkeep. And these tokens that he makes synergize very well with his second ability. After all, paying 10 life is nothing to scoff at, but being able to gain that incremental 1 life here and there can make it a lot more palatable. And with that second ability doubling our mana, we can definitely have some big finishes for our deck. Makes our commander essentially free, and more realistically can just essentially give us double mana on each of the turns that he sticks around. Which means the themes for this deck are definitely going to be an audacious amount of land-based ramp, and some life gain and drain effects. Starting off with the creatures for this deck, and quite frankly, if you see the black mana symbol and the words life gain, and you don't immediately think of aristocrats, then you've given yourself away, Synthetic Human. So cards like Blood Artist and Zulaport Cutthroat, whilst not essential, are definitely recommended for that lovely draining effect, especially when we want our pets dying as often as possible. And this lovely pair may as well bring us on to the rest of our life gain package. Now, since a lot of our payoff cards care about the instances of life gain and not the amount, that's what we're going to be looking for. Cards like Dina Soul Steeper drains everyone for 1 whenever we gain life, Mortality Spear costs 2 less if we gain life this turn, and Lisetta, Dina the Root, buffs our entire team each time we gain life. So cards like Thrall Parasite and Point for Blight are great for this, with their Extort ability being instances of life gain. And just a quick reminder, this is reminder text, not a colour identity, so Beledros can definitely have anything with Extort in the deck. Now, the gaining of life is not just done for the above cards, it's also to make sure that we're not hurt as badly by Beledros' second ability, needing 10 life to activate it. But if we do in fact gain enough life, then that 10 life will seem like a pittance to us. Our Reverse Soul Sister and Death Greeter will gain us 1 life whenever one of our pests dies. Essence Warden will gain life whenever they come right back in. And with our pests being green and black, then Ayara, First of Lockwayne, will also trigger whenever a pest enters the battlefield, along with any other black creature, of course. But for our bigger instances of life gain, then cards like Shamanic Revelations can be used to draw cards and gain chunks of 4 life. Noxious Gearhulk can act as lovely removal whilst gaining life, and Verdant Sun's Avatar can also be used for some big butt life gain. And finally, Thragtusk! He gains life, he generates tokens. Okay, I just like Thragtusk, alright? Look at his little face! And we've already talked about Lisette, Dean of the Root, being fantastic for buffing our board whenever we gain life, but her flip face is also fantastic for this purpose. Valentine, Dean of the Vein, is great graveyard hate for that one Merrin player in your group, and allows to generate pest tokens whenever a creature dies, allowing us to continue that cycle of pumping up pests, sacrificing them, and gaining more and more life. And the last weak creature I want to talk about is Courser of Kruphix, a card that will ensure we constantly hit our lands and gain us life for being able to do so. Speaking of lands, we need a lot of them. After all, we're going to be forsaking the usual artifact or creature-based ramp because Beledros does not untap these. So we are going to be needing cards like the normal Cultivate, Kodama's Reach and Skyshark Claim, the bread and butter of Green Ramp, but quite frankly, we need more. Explosive Vegetation, Migration Path, Farsight, Rampant Growth, all cards that put lands into play. And of course, since our commander is so high-costed, early blockers might also be a nice consideration. Farhaven Elf, Sakura Tribe Elder, Yavimaya Elder, and Wood Elves are again great for ramping us whilst protecting our face in the early game. And a card that I do really want to mention is the Growing Rights of Itlamok, a card that might be nice for getting a Zulaport Cutthroat to our hand, but primarily it's the flip side that we're interested in. After all, with all our pests and tiny aristocrat creatures, being able to flip into the Cradle of Itlamok should be no issue at all, and this is what we're going to be abusing with Beledros' ability. After all, being able to tap in our turn then pay 10 life to untap the Cradle is going to generate us so much mana, it quite frankly should be illegal. Speaking of cards that make absurd amounts of mana, I'm also going to be recommending putting in Cryptic Ghast and Zendikar Resurgent, 2 cards that make our lands tap for additional mana, with the Resurgence giving us also that lovely bit of card draw, and Cryptic Ghast having that lovely Extort trigger attached. Now, okay, yes, the Cryptic Ghast only does swamps, but that's still 50% of our mana base. And with its recent reprinting in Tamspar Remastered, Urborg, that lovely legendary land, can also be slotted right into our deck to help synergize lovingly with the Ghast. Now we're going to move on to our sacrificing outlets, because we need our pests to be dying as often as possible. Look, I'm sorry, okay? You are adorable, but I need that life gain. Now get on the altar. Now indeed the good old-fashioned Phyrexian and Ashnod's altar will slide right in here, beautifully. After all, being able to sacrifice a pest to gain that life to generate mana to play Beledros more early it's just beautiful. It's that lovely bit of synergy. And with our tokens being 1/1, Skull Clamp is an obvious include for both the sack outlet and the lovely draw that the card provides. Now the only other sacrifice outlet that I really want to talk about... No, not you. You're obvious, and thus boring. It's actually Krav the Unredeemed. In fact, this lovely redeemable demon is in fact a great sack outlet, because for 1 black mana, you can sacrifice any number of creatures, you can then buff the demon for it, draw cards, and gain life. It's almost like this card was made to be in Witherbloom. And now moving on to our win conditions, we've got big mana, We're in black, you know what's coming. It's going to be Exsanguinate and Torment of Hailfire. These two massive black spells can help clock everyone out of the game in one fell swoop. And we've essentially got double mana, so why not? And something else to not be taken lightly with that double mana is being able to put down our Exquisite Blood and Sanguine Bond or Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose all in the same turn. Then all we need is one little pest to be sacrificed to cause that infinite life gain stack trigger combo thing to just immediately go off the chain, draining the entire table for all their lives. Overall, Beledros is a massively costed, moderate hitter with an insane ability. The untapping of lands on a dime is never anything to downplay. And with the ability to generate a token every turn, that's already putting him in a good stead. But with those tokens also gaining us life, which feeds into his second ability, well, that's just lovely card design right there. But Beledros will obviously need some protection. Maybe a Heroic Intervention or a Veil of Summer would not go amiss. But make sure to keep him around from the mid to late game, and, quite frankly, you'll be in a winning position. Tokens for days, doubling up mana, and yeah, you're paying 10 life, but 10 life's not a lot to pay when all your opponents are already dead. And we also get to finally live that lovely dream of being able to play some proper Elder Dragon Highlander. And that will be the video, guys. Thank you for watching. What cards do you think would go perfectly in Beledros? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like this type of content, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more just like it. Also remember, you can follow us on Twitter @4commander, or if you really like us, you could consider becoming a patron of the channel yourself for access to exclusive EDH related rewards. But that's it from me. I have been Alex, and I will see you next time.